something that has remained hidden for over 100 years, is about to change the destiny of humanity. A truth, guarded for generations in the shadows of the Vatican, is about to be revealed. This revelation could change everything. Why did the Pope take so long to decide that humanity needed to know something so intimate and powerful? What was kept secret that now can no longer be held back? This is not just any story. It is a prophecy that has crossed time. Perhaps you are wondering what all this has to do with you. I will tell you everything. This story is not just a distant memory of a remote past. It is a warning for the future of humanity that will impact your life in a profound way. Now, with the decision of Pope Francis, we are about to discover the last part of the third secret of Fatima, a secret that should never have seen the light of day, but that may be exactly what we need to understand what is to come. As you watch this video, put your beliefs aside for a moment. What you are about to discover could transform what you know about faith, about the world, and most importantly, about your own destiny. Have you heard of this secret? Did you know that the visions predicted catastrophic events and spoke of a spiritual crisis that strikes the heart of the Church and each of the faithful? But most importantly, how can we avoid the predicted tragedies? There is still time. At the end of this video, you will have the chance to make a choice that can change your life. Let's explore together the details of what the Pope finally revealed and understand how they apply in the chaotic scenario in which we live. Because destiny, my friend, is literally in our hands. Now, if you really feel the urgency of this revelation, don't stop here. Comment Amen and share this awakening with your friends. This is your chance to make a difference, to rescue the faith, and to be part of something bigger. Don't let this truth go unnoticed. Subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss anything. The future calls and you need to be prepared. From the deepest corners of time, where faith meets mystery, a revelation emerges that challenges everything you know about the third secret of Fatima. This story, shrouded in silence that has lasted for more than a century, brings to light a message that Pope Francis has finally decided to reveal. A message that promises to transform the way we view the future and the very essence of our faith. What lies behind the 1917 apparitions in Fatima? What secrets were kept hidden to preserve the spiritual stability of humanity? By following every detail of this account, you will come across an urgent call for conversion, to prayer, and the practice of penance, indispensable elements to restore lost harmony and face the spiritual crisis that plagues the present day. This narrative is not merely a historical account, but an invitation to dive into the search for answers that can change the course of your existence. The revelation of the third secret of Fatima, long awaited and full of symbolism, now presents itself as the key to understanding what Pope Francis emphasized: the need for a sincere return to faith, to consecrate oneself to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and to transform each act of prayer into a gesture of resistance against the despair that permeates the modern world. The depth of this message is revealed in its ability to unite the past and the present, awakening in each of us the courage to question and act, even in the face of the greatest spiritual challenges. If you seek a truth that goes beyond the conventional, and are eager to understand the enigmas that have marked history, and that still shape the destiny of humanity, I have prepared a story that transcends the simple act of watching a video. Every word, every pause, and every revelation within this narrative were crafted to touch your heart and inspire a real-life change. As you explore this journey, you will find that it is not merely a historical curiosity, but a crucial warning for our time, where the choice between faith and indifference is constantly present. You are now ready to discover what the third secret of Fatima holds. Share your expectations in the comments and stay tuned, as what follows may shift your understanding of faith, conversion, and hope. In the vastness of time, we find the origin of a story that transcends logic, taking us directly to 1917 in Fatima, Portugal. There, the lives of three young shepherds, Lucia dos Santos, Francisco, and Jacinta Mato, were touched by an encounter that challenged the norms of reality at the time. Their simple routine and youthful innocence were intertwined with their work in the fields. Then, an inexplicable phenomenon began to occur: apparitions of a presence many recognized as the Virgin Mary. These visions, unfolding in an atmosphere of reverence and fear, were not just displays of light and shadow. They subtly introduced the idea of a destiny that would inevitably be traced for humanity. The narrative of these young people goes beyond a report of supernatural encounters, delving into the essence of witnessing something that defies human understanding, awakening both hope and questioning. Every detail of their experiences echoes in the words that would later form the secrets of Fatima, revelations that would continue to spark debate and concern for generations. Fatima itself became a stage where faith and mystery met, where history seemed to be written with inks that blended the sacred and the ordinary. This time, though distant, remains alive in the memory of those who believe that invisible forces guide human existence. By revisiting this past, we are invited to explore a context where faith becomes a response, and where each apparition foreshadowed events that would challenge established beliefs. The impact of these revelations extends beyond the spiritual dimension, resonating within a society that, even amidst its crises and transformations, seeks answers in something greater. This historical exploration is not just a return to the past, but a bridge connecting the events of 1917 with the urgency of the present, where the search for meaning becomes essential. Each word, each account of the young shepherds, invites us to consider how these events shaped not only a faith, but also how we interpret the signs the universe sends. This reflection is an invitation to recognize that the past, far from being stagnant, pulses and intertwines with the present, urging us to look beyond appearances and understand the complexity of a destiny yet to be revealed. By exploring this retrospective, you will discover the essence of moments that defied time and space. Share your thoughts and prepare yourself, as the next stage of this journey promises to reveal the first secrets that emerged from this unique encounter, further sparking your curiosity and desire to know the truth behind what was hidden from us through time. The first revealed secrets emerge as a vivid testament to the unease that hung over humanity. They were not just prophecies, but messages filled with energy that penetrated the souls of those who heard them. The initial revelation presented a dark vision where the presence of hell was palpable, a scene of pain and agony that awakened fear and the urgency of inner transformation. This image, far from being a simple metaphor, was intended to warn about the dangers of a path without faith, where the absence of conversion would leave humanity vulnerable to forces that threatened to destabilize life. Each word carried the weight of a warning, a call for hearts to open themselves to the pressing need for redemption. Before the horrors became irreversible, the vision not only displayed an apocalyptic scenario, but also foretold a future where the silence of souls without faith would echo like a lament in the face of approaching disasters. In this context, the first two secrets began to paint a disturbing picture, intertwining humanity's destiny with the inevitability of a spiritual transformation. It was as if each spoken word revealed a hidden aspect of reality, suggesting that history would not simply be a record of the past, but a constant warning of what could be if humanity persisted in indifference and disbelief. The magnitude of this message was felt in every detail, from the description of a hell that surpassed the limits of imagination to the prediction of a global conflict that would shake the foundations of civilization. This announcement, sounding like a cry for help amidst imminent chaos, created inescapable tension and awakened awareness of the need for profound change. The fear of a future marked by calamities and the prospect of a devastating war became invitations to reflection, prompting those who heard the message to question the true meaning of faith and conversion. By deciphering these secrets, the viewer is led to understand that the call for transformation is not just a distant omen, but a reality that pulsates within every human being. Thus, while the words resonate like an echo that transcends time, each phrase becomes an invitation to a profound truth. If ignored, it signifies loss and a fundamental separation. Between the first two secrets, a disturbing doubt and a profound mystery took root. The third secret remained hidden, shrouded in an aura of secrecy that seemed like an indecipherable enigma for over 100 years. This silence was not mere oversight, but a deliberate decision that raised tension and suspense to almost unbearable levels. The reluctance to reveal the full content of this enigma generated an atmosphere charged with ideas and theories, where each moment seemed to hold a clue, a subtle trace of a truth capable of transforming not only the faith of believers, but the destiny of all humanity. The very decision to keep this secret for so long was not taken lightly. It reflected the fear that certain truths, when exposed, could trigger such a powerful impact that it would shake the emotional and physical structures of a world already on the brink of an existential crisis. This silence, full of hidden meanings, echoed the idea that the unknown held intrinsic power, a force capable of instigating both despair and hope. Thus, the omission of the third secret became an invitation to search for answers, challenging each spectator not to passively accept the veil that covered the mystery, but to delve into an inner investigation that touches the core of faith and humanity. In this scenario, each minute of waiting felt like an eternity, and each sigh from the past resonated with the promise of a revelation that, if ignored, would leave an irreparable void. The silence then became an active character in this narrative, carrying the weight of a destiny that depended on a deep understanding of what that secret held. It was as if with each heartbeat the truth drew a little closer, instigating the mind to wonder if this mystery was actually a warning about the urgency of a sincere return to faith and the practice of prayer. Each moment of waiting compelled the viewer to discover the hidden message, as if their very existence depended on deciphering this enigma. The silence of the third secret was not just the absence of words, but a powerful manifestation of the tension between the known and the unknown, between the comfort of certainties and the abyss of uncertainty. In the face of this suspenseful atmosphere, the inevitable question arises: what could be within this silence that, if revealed, has the potential to alter the course of faith and history? Share your impressions and prepare to unravel the next chapter of this journey, as the upcoming revelation promises to further challenge the limits of understanding and ignite an impulse you won't want to miss. The moment of revelation arrives as a turning point, marking the shift from the deafening silence of the hidden to the explosion of truths that reshape the understanding of faith. It was at this moment that Pope Francis, aware of the urgency of a spiritual awakening, made the decision that would shake the structures of tradition and dogma to reveal the third secret of Fatima. By announcing this revelation, he not only ended a long period of mystery, but also invited each of us to rethink our relationship with the sacred, requiring deep introspection on the importance of conversion and the practice of prayer. The decision to bring this enigma to light was not impulsive. It stemmed from a firm conviction that the world faced a crossroads where a return to faith and the rescue of spiritual values could mean the difference between hope and despair. At that moment, the narrative gains strength and intensity, allowing us to understand that the history of the secrets of Fatima is not limited to records of the past, but projects itself powerfully onto the present and future of humanity. The revelation of the third secret goes beyond the mere disclosure of previously hidden content. It becomes a powerful symbol of the call to conversion, penance, and consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. These three pillars, strongly emphasized by the Pontiff, serve as guidance for all who seek not only to understand the mysteries surrounding faith, but also to find a path to salvation and spiritual renewal in daily practice. Each word spoken at this moment resonates with the intensity of a warning that transcends time and invites immediate action. Pope Francis' decision instigates urgent reflection. It is necessary to act before the signs of desolation become concrete, and each gesture of prayer, each act of penance, and each consecration becomes an essential step to prevent destiny from unfolding irreversibly. Thus, the announcement of this crucial moment becomes a call for the viewer to actively engage in personal and collective transformation, understanding that faith is not static, but a living force renewed at every moment. By recognizing the importance of this revelation, we are invited to abandon inertia and embrace the responsibility of transforming our reality, making each day an opportunity to reaffirm hope and build a future that can still be redefined. What will be the world's reaction to the awakening of this long-awaited truth? Share your thoughts and prepare for the developments that this new stage will bring to light. The revelation did not stop there. Amidst this transformation, a deep crisis was taking hold, a crisis that went beyond what could be expected from past events. This crisis, which was not limited to a simple shake in faith or a superficial change in customs, revealed itself as a true rupture capable of impacting even the foundations of the Church itself and of human spirituality. The warning that many leaders would stray from the path created a latent unease, making it clear that spiritual instability was not the result of isolated events. It extended to all the scenes told, a day of urgency. Conversion was no longer just a suggestion, but a necessity to avoid drifting toward irreversible chaos. This crisis, dividing the faithful between hope and abandonment, brought with it the feeling that time itself was falling apart, giving way to a period in which distancing from the sacred could cost the integrity of the collective soul. The messages that circulated, laden with symbolism and warnings, emphasized that departure from the fundamental principles of faith would not be without consequences. In every unspoken prayer, in every gesture of indifference, there was an imminent risk that the essence of true Christianity would be lost amid scandals, divisions, and disillusionment. This climate of uncertainty about a future where the spiritual crisis would herald even greater disasters invited the viewer to reflect on the intrinsic value of each act of faith. The urgency of resuming the practice of prayer, of living each moment of penance intensely, and of consecrating oneself to the Immaculate Heart of Mary presented itself as the only viable response to a world on the brink. Each word spoken in this context carried the weight of collective responsibility, challenging us to recognize that the crisis was not just a historical narrative, but a living warning about the dangers of straying from the values that sustain humanity. This critical situation, permeated by a feeling of imminent loss, served as an invitation for each person to turn inward, seeking in the silence of prayer and the sincerity of repentance the strength needed to resist indifference and disillusionment. When facing this reality, the viewer is confronted with a choice: to allow despair to take hold, or to act with courage and determination to rescue faith and transform one's destiny. What is hidden behind this call to conversion and spiritual renewal? Share your thoughts and prepare, as the next segment of this journey will reveal the details of this premonition that, if ignored, can bring irreparable consequences. The prophecy that emerges from the secrets of Fatima reverberates like a timeless cry, a sound that transcends the ages and calls us to rethink each choice we make today. The decision to reveal the third secret was not just a symbolic act, but a turning point that redefined collective destiny, marking an urgent and transformative alert. This revelation carries intense symbolism capable of touching the essence of faith and provoking deep reflection on the need for immediate inner change. In this scenario, the message unfolds in three fundamental pillars: penance and consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Each of these elements is not just a religious practice, but a sure path to prevent despair from spreading and destroying the foundations of hope. Daily prayer, for example, is more than just repeating words. It is an intimate encounter with the divine, a moment of connection in which each prayer can transform reality, creating a link of light amidst darkness. Penance, in turn, challenges the faithful to recognize their weaknesses and transform suffering into fuel for overcoming, showing that through sacrifice, it is possible to purify the soul and find the strength to start anew. Consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary represents a sincere commitment to surrender oneself to protection and unconditional love. It paves the way for spiritual renewal that touches not only the individual, but the entire community. This message, full of depth and urgency, does not come to sow fear, but to stimulate conscious action. It reminds us that the future is not set in stone, and that with each gesture of devotion, we have the power to reconfigure destiny. In a world marked by the distancing of spiritual values, where crisis affects not only faith, but also the entire emotional and social structure, this prophecy emerges as a beacon that illuminates the path to transformation. It is a call for each person to take responsibility for their spiritual renewal and, at the same time, to become an agent of change in building a more solid and hopeful future. As the barriers between the past and the present dissolve, the urgency of transforming our reality becomes undeniable. The message of the third secret of Fatima carries an almost palpable force, urging you to act now, before time consumes the opportunities for redemption. Each prayer, each act of sacrifice, and each moment of reflection are fundamental pieces to change the course of history. This is not a distant message or a vague warning. It is an invitation for us to reevaluate the real meaning of faith in a world in constant change and rediscover the importance of keeping the flame of hope alive. True transformation depends on the courage to face the unknown, to let go of the comfort of inertia, and to embrace uncertainty with determination. This prophecy is both a warning and an opportunity, challenging us to preserve what is sacred and to act with the conviction that each gesture of devotion has the potential to save our soul and those around us. When reflecting on the impact of this call for conversion and spiritual renewal, we are led to consider how our choices today can define the future of all humanity. This is a question that resonates in every heart, inspiring the search for answers and active participation in a movement that aims to restore faith and hope. Share this reflection and prepare for the next developments of this movement to rescue those who have lost their notions and beliefs. Join us, because the power to rewrite history is undeniably in your hands. At the crossroads between despair and hope, the message of the third secret of Fatima, outlined by Pope Francis, presents three essential paths that emerge as answers for the renewal of faith in a world marked by spiritual isolation. The first path is the practice of daily prayer, which goes beyond a simple ritual and becomes an intimate and transformative encounter with the divine. Each prayer uttered with sincerity becomes a powerful link that unites the human heart with the will of God, offering a refuge where concerns dissipate and the light of hope is renewed. This moment of introspection strengthens not only individual faith, but also inspires the community, spreading a collective feeling that drives profound changes in daily life. In parallel, the second path points to penance, an invitation to recognize one's own faults and transform suffering into a means to overcome. By accepting small daily sacrifices, the faithful demonstrate a genuine commitment to conversion, understanding that pain assumed with courage transforms into an act of love and spiritual purification. Penance, far from being seen as a burden, assumes the role of an instrument that refines the spirit and establishes a bridge between human fragility and the redeeming power of the sacred. Complementing these two pillars, the third path is revealed in the consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, representing a deep and irrevocable commitment to surrender oneself to divine protection and mercy. This surrender transcends symbolism, configuring a conscious decision to seek support in the source of all compassion, allowing the maternal love of Mary to be the guide during moments of uncertainty. The union of these three paths, daily prayer, penance, and consecration, forms a triple and inseparable response capable of reviving the distance from faith and reviving the essence lost amidst the challenges of the present time. Every gesture, no matter how small it may seem, contributes to the construction of a future where conversion and hope are solidified as indispensable foundations for collective transformation. By integrating these practices, the faithful not only recover their own spirituality, but also become agents of change, spreading the vital message that true transformation depends on a daily and sincere commitment to the values that sustain life. Could these three paths, in fact, represent the key to restoring the connection with the divine and changing the course of history? Share your thoughts and prepare to discover the unfolding of this journey towards a spiritual renewal that cannot be ignored. At the crossroads of personal and collective transformation, each individual is called to assume the leading role in their own history, recognizing that faith is not restricted to a mere feeling, but an active commitment to the truth revealed at this very moment. The third secret of Fatima presents itself as an urgent call to conversion, an invitation to adopt daily the discipline of prayer, the discipline of penance, and sincere surrender to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. The message reaffirmed by Pope Francis echoes with intensity, revealing that each gesture of faith, no matter how small it may seem, has the power to transform the course of history and rekindle the flame of hope. Even in times of uncertainty, in a world where the distancing from spiritual values is increasingly present, the responsibility to seek the truth is indispensable and translates into an action that goes beyond the individual sphere to become a collective movement of rescue and renewal. By committing to prayer, the faithful find a space for reflection that strengthens not only their own soul, but also the spiritual fabric that unites the community. The practice of penance, in turn, reveals the courage to face one's own weaknesses and transform suffering into a path of overcoming, a ritual of purification that rescues the lost essence. By consecrating oneself to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the believer fully surrenders himself to divine protection and mercy, establishing an intimate connection with the source of all love and compassion. This is the time to abandon the inertia that dominates the present day and to position oneself as an active agent in the transformation of one's own destiny. Each act of faith, each prayer pronounced with sincerity, each sacrifice offered with love, is a fundamental step towards a reality in which hope is renewed with each dawn. The decision to seek this transformation is not just an internal choice, but a movement that invites the community to unite around a greater purpose and build the connection with the divine and reaffirm the importance of faith as a foundation for a more solid future. Are you prepared to accept this call? Share your thoughts and join this community that is not afraid to face challenges in the name of faith, because change begins with a decision, and the power to rewrite destiny is in your hands. The end of this story is not a goodbye, but the beginning of a new cycle where the choice between the light of faith and the shadows of doubt becomes decisive to shape the future. It is the moment in which the final message becomes a forceful appeal to act now, to reverse the separation that threatens to corrode the foundations of our spirituality. Every moment dedicated to prayer, every gesture of penance, and each act of consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary becomes a seed of hope ready to blossom even in the face of the darkest adversities. The silence that once hid the secrets and warnings now transforms into a powerful echo, reverberating in the depths of the human heart and demonstrating that faith, when lived intensely, has the power to transmute reality. This transformation, however, is not just an individual process, but a collective responsibility that calls on the entire community to unite in search of a renewal that transcends time and rewrites the destiny of each one of us. When we recognize that each small decision to get closer to the divine carries the capacity to change the course of history, we are challenged to abandon the inertia that imprisons us and to embrace with courage and determination the path of redemption. The long-awaited and finally revealed third secret ceases to be a mere set of words or abstract precepts to materialize in the urgency of transforming existence through active faith, conscious sacrifice, and unconditional love that transcends all barriers. Each whispered prayer, each tear shed in penance, and each moment of consecration thus become a cry of resistance against spiritual decadence, a manifesto of hope for a world that cries out for renewal. At this very moment, the responsibility to reverse the crisis and rekindle the flame of faith falls on our shoulders, demanding from us a commitment that goes beyond simple personal devotion. The invitation is made. True change begins with the decision not to remain on the sidelines, but to actively engage in the construction of a new reality, where the light of truth and the strength of hope guide each step towards a better future. It is time to reflect on the legacy we will leave for future generations. Each choice, each act of faith, and each gesture of love has the potential to rewrite history and transform the world around us. The message of the third secret is a call for us to not only listen, but live this truth with passion and conviction. The transformation we desire depends on the union of all of us, who are to carry this torch of hope forward so that the divine light is perpetuated and illuminates the paths that lie ahead. Therefore, what are you willing to do to be an active part of this change? What legacy do you want to build and leave for those who will come after us? This is the question that echoes at this turning point, a question that impels us to act with determination and transform each gesture of devotion into a powerful instrument against darkness. Share your thoughts, join this chain of transformation, and remember, the power to rewrite history is indisputably in your hands.